Senate Republicans failed to pass their pared-down Affordable Care Act again. Repeal in the early hours of this morning on a dramatic vote of 49-51. 3 Republicans joined the Democrats to help defeat the bill. This is the stinging defeat for President Donald Trump, who made the repeal a cornerstone of his presidential campaign. The late-night debate capped the GOP's months-long effort to fulfill a 7-year promise to repeal the Affordable Care Act. An emotional Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell did not hide his disappointment after the vote went down.
Clearly a disappointing moment, from skyrocketing costs to plummeting choices and collapsing markets. Our constituents have suffered through an awful lot under Obamacare. We thought they deserved better. It's why I and many of my colleagues did as we promised and voted to repeal this failed law. We told our constituents we would vote that way, and when the moment came, most of us did.
Senator John McCain, who just this week returned to the Senate after receiving a diagnosis of brain cancer, cast the decisive vote to defeat the proposal, joining 2 other Republicans in opposing it. In dramatic fashion, standing directly in front of Mitch McConnell, McCain walked up to the front of the chamber and issued a firm thumbs down. Take a look.
Mr. Peters.
After the thumbs down, McCain stared at McConnell, stare down, before he walked down the aisle back to his desk. In a statement, McCain said, quote, "We must return to the correct way of legislating and produce a bill that finally delivers affordable health care for the American people," end quote. Joining us on our panel today, Barbara Arnwine, founding president of the Transformative Justice Coalition, Faraji Muhammad, host of Listen Up on WEAA 88.9 FM, Baltimore, Maryland, and Pastor Shannon Wright, vice chairman of the Maryland GOP. Guys, let's get into this conversation just a little bit. This is a dramatic loss for the GOP, once again. This is something they've prided themselves on once again, that they've been unable to answer the bell on once again. Barbara, what happened?
Well, it's a dramatic victory for the American people. That's the way to look at this, because what happened was that they were just dishonest. They did not have an open process, no debate, really. Even the night of the bill, they bring the skinny bill in at 10 p.m. last night, and then will only allow just a very limited debate on it when people haven't even read it. The CBO scores 2 hours later almost and comes up with a ruling that there's going to be a loss of 16 million people who will be uninsured, 6 million more who will be uninsured, who are now covered by the employers. And then they also say that there's going to be a 20% increase in premiums per year, which would compound to over 430% increase in 5 or 6 years. So it was a disaster. And what I think that it was their process that killed it. I thought it was their substance that killed it, and their dishonesty.
Shannon, I want to come to you for a second. The process is something that's been under scrutiny from Democrats and Republicans alike. But Senator McConnell made a point. He said that many of the Republican senators went to their constituents promising to repeal the Affordable Care Act. This was their chance. 3 of them did not.
Clearly a disappointment.
There are some issues that to me are too important to be partisan. Healthcare is one of those. You're looking at whether or not you say something in a way that your folks will vote for you again. That's cute. But that is an issue that is life and death for folks. And there are certain things that really, we kind of need to put the party stuff aside and put what's in the best interest of people in front, which is what everybody elected is supposed to do, regardless of party. So I'd like to see a little bit more of that. Healthcare is too important to just be partisan.
Faraji, they made this partisan. It turned out to be partisan. Was this partisan?
Oh, absolutely. Wrong approach. I mean, it was certainly a rush process, but even more so, if we look at how their intention, and I was always taught, Ray, that the intention and spirit in which you do a thing will oftentimes determine the end result. So when you look at the spirit in which this whole process was done, it was not done to necessarily, quote unquote, give Americans the best health care bill. It was simply done because President Obama created it. And look, it took the president more than 2 years to really have conversations about this Affordable Care Act, to talk about what should be the best thing. He knows it wasn't perfect when he created it.
But President Obama, you're talking.
President Obama. But now it takes the Trump administration, the Senate now, it's just so rushed that they're like, we got to do something, we got to do something. If they should have done something, it should have been a very, very measured, very strategic act, as Ms. Barber said, talking about that's open and democratic in its beginning. Then you wouldn't have so much of the blowback that you're getting. It's just a rush process. It's not based upon health care. It's just based upon bad politics.
Well, Senator McConnell says that they will move on to the rest of the business.
They have no other choice.
of the Senate.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no. That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.